Journal entries, Ch.1, from a survivor named Jukebox.
It seems early on my lack of preparation and eagerness to move forward nearly got me killed, in some ways more stupidly than others. It had been about a week since my flight crashed, and I woke up on that beach. Hindsight, always being 2020, maybe I should have come by boat rather than trying to fly over the Miroslavi. The last thing I remember before putting my oxygen on was overhearing the co-pilot saying something about the Blackwatch air defense system. Back then, I had no clue what they were even talking about. The first few days, all things considered, I was very fortunate. I'd seen body cam footage of what could only be described as undead and had brought my shotgun in case I encountered them. But it was lost in the crash. The one thing I could not lose was the extensive research I did on the roads of Chernaris, and I still had my map in my pocket. I avoided all the major cities, only stopping at outlier homes and shacks. The supplies there kept me going at first. Powdered milk and canteens were plentiful, and calories are calories, I thought. My main focus was getting up north, where Anna's last radio transmission said she was heading. And I had to do it fast. I did not have the luxury of stopping and gathering supplies, though probably would have been a better idea. A few days in, I wound up in Vybor. I was delirious, no idea how I'd got there. Turns out, water in those canteens wasn't clean. 13 packs of dehydrated processed milk will destroy you. Trust me. My stomach was going to get me killed. In more ways than one. I was having trouble moving by this point, the hunger was physically painful, and loud enough to draw unwanted attention. I'm searching through my bags, trying to find any sort of medicine so I don't puke again. That's when I hear the sound of bullets being loaded behind me. Was that a survivor? My already destroyed stomach dropped. That was definitely another person. In this entire week, I hadn't seen a sign of life. But I was almost dead and out of options. For the first time in what felt like a lifetime, I used my voice. Hello? The unseen survivor stopped making noise and responded with a greeting in turn. My heart was pounding as I was so weak, even too weak to run away. I was all in at this point. Are you friendly? I managed to say through my dry throat, as the act of moving my mouth caused my lips to crack and bleed. Turns out, he was indeed friendly. My luck continued. He went by the name of Willie. It wasn't hard for him to see the bad shape I was in. I think he might have even been amused I could even be this bad off, this far inland. He asked if I needed any help and why I was out there, but I decided not to tell him the reason. I had yet to discover much about Anna's travels at this point, and did not want to bring any attention to her or my reasons for looking for her. I left Vybor, and I started moving north towards the biathlon arena. I was close to finding her at this point. Her last transmission said something about the north and to come to the biathlon. The excitement when I saw it, it was unmistakable. There it was, a small blue flag with a single word centered inside, refuge. It was surreal to see it flying there in these cold woods halfway across the world. Or rather laying. The flag was on the ground. Something wasn't right. Clearly, she lived here. There were signs of her green thumb, and of course the flag, but things were decrepit, as if no one had been here in some time. I managed to get inside pretty easily. The door code was our anniversary. I knew why she came to Chernaris. Anna was concerned about how the radiation was decimating the country's fauna. The 2009 disaster had caused a considerable amount of fallout to spread across the land. As a result, many less hardy species of animals have begun to disappear from Chernarus. I told her she was crazy for coming out here to what might still be an active war zone. But you couldn't dissuade Anna from something when she had her mind set on it. I spent all night, straight through the following day, poring through her research. I learned that she came up north specifically for a reason. Something to do with the gas and the fallout from the radiation having a more devastating impact than anticipated. Her last entry states that she was going to the epicenter of the source of the radiation to try and find out anything more she could before leaving and reporting back home. After a short rest and resupply, I left the cottage and followed her trail towards Tizzy.